Alrighty guys, well, no content creator, but here today I'm here to inform you about this glorious Creality laser. I'm going to be going through multiple different things tonight. We're going to get into software discussion on what you can use to run this, what I would recommend to use to run this, install on a Creality printer, multiple of them maybe, and then also adding one to a non-Creality frame just by using the X and Y steppers. Alrighty, so I've already kind of went through and already tinkered with this before making the video. Just wanted to be kind of clear. Pretty much how you see this is how you're going to get it in the box. There's going to be a bunch of stuff over in here. This is the laser. Let's take that out, set it off to the side for now. You get some nice PPE, which is always good to have. You got your module. Well, this is actually the main board for it. You got your X and Y connectors along with jumper leads to leave attached, so you can unplug this and plug your X and Y steppers back in and resume 3D printing. Next, you've got your carriage for it, or what you would mount it to the carriage. Pretty simple and straightforward to put onto the printer. You get one little set screw down here. It pretty much mounts right back behind the palm wheels, snaps in, and then you lock it in place with this. I have seen some other people, I think, take this on the S1s maybe and mount it sideways. I haven't mounted it on the S1 yet, only on the 3 Pro and on my ANET frame, so it works pretty well. Next, you have a 24 volt 3 amp power supply. This entire unit is standalone. You can run it without even powering on your printer, which is a massive plus. It comes with a nice SD card reader, the normal one that comes with the 3 Pros. Not the greatest, but it does work. You got your glorious interface cable, a couple zip ties, and some other items for cable management. There are also some boards that come with this. I think there was 3 in various thicknesses. And you also get an instruction manual, but that's for you to go through, not me. Okay, so attaching the laser head is pretty simple. You just remove this guy here, loosen it, slide it down, it comes right off. And to put it back on, slide it back up, tighten down your set screw here, and that's good to go. Now, mounting it onto this rail here, you have to hook it underneath this guide for this palm wheel, and you're going to kind of want to make sure it's off and away from this extrusion rail here. It's very difficult to get it there, and it's just held in by one tiny set screw right back here. Come on, there it is. That's all that holds that to the plate for the extruder. And once you get that set, you will lower this guy down right here. This is what sets your depth. Okay, so you'll lower this down until it touches your surface that you're going to be using to engrave on. Once you're set, flip this back up. It'll stay there. This doesn't move very fast at all or anything, but I'm not going to be going through hooking up this on a Creality printer. It's pretty simple, straightforward. You would disconnect your limit switch here and disconnect your stepper motor there, as well as your stepper and limit switch here. I'm running clipper on all of these, so me moving them around is not friendly for my resonance testing, and I don't feel like moving my sonic pad in order to redo all of that. So with that being said, once you have that all set up and mounted, you get your box fired up. You could then start engraving right from there, as long as all your connections are up and going. Okay, so on this part of the video, I'm going to be starting up a print. I have yet to try using the SD card. I'm going to try that. But I did end up getting this mounted to this old ANET frame. It's on there, it's good to go. Hookup is pretty simple. You get your one wire here that's labeled Z. You plug that directly into the laser module here. I routed it, chose to route it up through here just for ease. I've got my Y stepper hooked up. I've got my Y limit switch hooked up. Sorry, that's X. Oops. Got Y limit switch down here hooked up. These are just old limit switches from the other printers. Mounted the one here and one here. Give me some function. And then I've also got the Y stepper hooked up as well. Routed the wires through there. Jumper wires are here, so if I want to take this module off to install on any of the other printers, all I got to do is disconnect it from these, and then I can plug it into any one of these. One thing I did find out in the last video, I mounted it on this printer. On the S1, if you're trying to use the small bracket that comes with it, you will run into trouble with this guy here. On the box it says that this is for the S1, which for the S1 you should be able to plug the laser module into the expansion port over here and use the printer's board to actually run that. But with this model, it did not come with the lead to run the extension from here down to the expansion port over here on the side. So I don't know if that was an oversight or if they meant to do it that way, but looking at this case, it looks like you could potentially take the box apart and remove what you need from this in order to run it on the S1. So maybe it did come with the wire and maybe it requires disassembly of this. But with all that said, I can power this on now and attempt to engrave on this. So it's going to be kind of hard. I got to get this thing staged because it requires both hands on this A-net in order to get this back down to the engraving surface. Okay, so according to the instructions, once you have your G-code loaded onto the SD card, you simply turn this on, switch over here. After 3 beeps, it's in standby mode. Press once, should home itself, and once it's there, should be able to hit this again, and it should execute the G-code file. I'm not having any luck with running G-code, but I'm also using a different program. I'm not using Lightburn. Lightburn is subscription based, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how much I'm gonna use this. There is a 30-day free trial with it, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna use this that often. So I opted to use Laser GRBL. It does work with this. So far I've ran it in online mode where it's just straight connected to the computer. Had pretty good success with it. But with loading G-code stuff, maybe that's a Lightburn thing, and maybe that's what I need to try and use and upload G-code to it with. Okay, so once we get our file loaded up and going, I didn't have any luck with the SD card, but we're going to do a frame. It's going to go around to make sure, this is your chance to make sure that your material is centered. It really honestly doesn't need to sit on the build plate. Like I said, I'm not using Lightburn, and this frame is kind of funky, so things are a little different. So now that that is ready to go, we've framed it. I can go ahead and start our program, and this should automatically go ahead and start firing. And now we have our glorious laser going. Things are coming well. I'll let this run and then check back in with you guys and hopefully wrap things up. Alright, bear with me. I don't have any screen capture software, so main thing you're going to do inside of GRBL, you can send G-code up here in this panel. First thing you're going to want to do is figure out the dimensions of your printer, what it prints at. You put $131 equals let's say 220, and that'll set one of your depths, and same with 130. That'll set another one of your depths, and that just tells your software your surface area that you have for printing. You'll need to end up connecting to this here. You'll end up clicking this once you get it connected and your driver's updated and installed. According with the potato. Once you get all that stuff installed, you should be able to connect to it from here. This is where you will open your files, and that's where you can adjust settings. Adjusting settings is kind of a dark art. It does take a little practice, but once you get it, you'll end up getting your image here. Right now we are engraving, so it's real time. This is on its second pass. You can follow right along with it while it's connected. And here we go here on our second pass. Our image is coming out very, very well, very detailed. I am going to have some vibration in this due to this glorious linear rail and it being old and probably worn out, but it serves its function for this, so I'm not too concerned about it. But this pretty much concludes my stuff. The reason that I chose GRBL over Lightburn is that, like I said, Lightburn costs extra money, and this is a free program, so donate to them and keep them happy, and maybe they'll keep it free. So I appreciate it, guys. I'm glad that I got a chance to review this. There are some things that I wish that they did do with it. One thing I wish they would have done is maybe some mounting holes here. Not that big of a deal. This can be drilled, and same with over here. Would have been cool to have a place to make this where this box is stationary, so I don't have it just sitting somewhere. Other thing is compatibility with what it's supposed to be compatible with, which is the S1s or the S1 Pro. Being able to mount it onto the plate would have been great, but like I said, I think that might have been an oversight, or it might just need to be to crack this guy open and rob the connector out of it in order to plug it into that expansion port. So yeah, you guys got any questions, reach out. Thanks.